he was wandering around the mysterious forest, he saw some winter strawberries growing around that place, which gave 20% ice resistance for 30 minutes to the user. He collected a basket full of them and made ice resistance potions with it, acquiring level 2 alchemy skill. Hyojin unbelievably asked Jiha about the place where he found the materials of the ice resistance potion. But hearing the same excuse from him about the Tearzio dungeon, she immediately knew that Jiha was a bad liar. She decided to not ask him about it anymore, since he was uncomfortable. But for that, she wanted to buy all the ice resistance potion available in his shop. She slammed an envelope full of cash, telling Jiha that she did not need a receipt in return. As she was getting out of the shop in a hurry, Jiha yelled with all his might, telling Hyojin that the cash she gave him was much more than the potion's actual worth. But she ignored Jiha, telling him that even that much money was not enough for potions this extraordinary. The lady realized that she did not know the seller's name and asked him about it. Jiha introduced himself, and as he told his name to the lady, she complimented him, saying that it was a nice name and she would meet him in the future too. Man, is our boy Jiha getting a girlfriend soon anyways. As the scene shifts, Jiha was back again into the mysterious forest. He collected multiple glowstones and kindle gems along with winter strawberries, as he needed a refill of materials for his shop. He sat down with his dimensional pouch on the side, wondering about why there were so many resources in the forest without any monsters or danger. He was not able to comprehend about where the mysterious forest was, but suddenly he noticed a rattling sound coming from long grass. He immediately stood up and started going towards the direction of the sound, knowing for sure that there was something definitely at that place. As he looked around, he saw a cute little beetle lying onto the ground. The system told Jiha that the creature was a pterodrone, a mythic monster who was a small car-sized monster that looked like a beetle with giant claws. Jiha was shocked to see a pterodrone in the mysterious forest. He even wondered about why they were looking so small. But as he tried to follow the group of the cute creatures, he saw that there was a barrier put up in place, and he can't go past it. Suddenly, he saw that the group of pterodrones were going towards the devil ants, a hazard monster who is the size of a cargo truck, and killing one of them attracted 10 more of them, which made it difficult to eliminate them. Jiha was amused to see that the pterodones and devil ants were fighting with each other, like they were in some kind of war. Jiha had already read something about the devil ants from a book before. He knew that they were hazard monsters, and the poison that they secreted made them more dangerous than even the aversion monsters. But something was still stuck into Jiha's mind. Every notification told him that the monsters were either car-sized or truck-sized, but they were looking so small to him that he was not able to comprehend about why it was written so about them. Suddenly, he saw that a devil ant was overpowering a pterodrone, and he was trying to get away. Knowing that the pterodrones are all losing, Jiha wondered about the reason they were still fighting so hard for. He knew for sure that the cute creatures will lose if it kept going like this and wanted to help them. It was as if the system has heard him, and a notification popped up in front of Jiha, which stated that the war between him and his pterodrones against the devil ants has begun. The system asked Jiha if he wanted to help out his legion of pterodrones in this fight. Reading this, Jiha was shocked by knowing that he can intervene in between the fight. Even when he was a little confused by the system's wording, he still decided to help out the pterodrones. The notification told him that his legion was losing right now, and he can use his essence to cast an area buff. It gave multiple options to Jiha, which included the increase in health points, along with resistance to poison and physical damage. Jiha can even use the labor's blessing for the pterodrones. He was amused to see that even when he cannot help the creatures directly, he can give assistance to them like this. The options had to do something with a material called essence, and as Jiha opened his hands, he had 2 of them. So he decided that he will choose the labor's blessing to bless the cute little pterodrones. Suddenly, a yellow aura surrounded all the creatures, giving them an immense buff. The creatures who fell down were now standing up, flapping their small wings intensely and flying towards the devil ants with insane speeds. All the pterodrones started attacking the devil ants and were defeating them one by one. It was just a matter of time, and the pterodrones were eventually able to finish all the devil ants, seizing victory into their cute little pincers. Jiha was so happy by the indirect win he has got and looked at the cute creatures as they were celebrating their win with smiles. Jiha thanked the pterodrones for protecting the forest, telling them that they did good work. But suddenly, all the pterodrones gathered in front of him and gave him a huge amount of essence and essence stones. Jiha smiled at this gesture and confused the pterodrones. He picked up only 5 essences and essence stones and told the pterodrones that they were the ones who fought with their lives on the line, and only this much materials were good enough for Jiha, considering the help he gave the creatures. But as soon as he picked the materials up, Jiha saw that the protective barrier was now gone along with the fog. Seeing this, Jiha was so happy and excited as he thought that even when he was only going to stay for a bit inside the mysterious forest, he may not be going back to his shop for a while now. As the scene shifts, we come to the Hunter Net. After the appearance of Dungeon and Hunters, a community for hunters known as the Hunter Net was created. And right now, the only thing famous on the Hunter Net was the rank 12 sword witch SEO Hyjin. A red-haired lady was sitting on a desk inside a dark room, typing something inside a chat room. She was actually fighting with another chatter, telling him that there should be no dispute about Hyjin soloing the man's stalker dungeon. But the person contradicted, saying that there was also no dispute that it was something that Hyjin couldn't do by herself. But the number of people entering the dungeons was always known to the people, and it was hard to believe that Hyjin hunted with someone. The lady also replied that Hyjin had been a solo player ever since Han Xianjuk disappeared. The person on the other side hoped that Hyjin would forget about Han forever. But the lady was getting frustrated by this thought of his. Knowing that the chatter didn't give a fuss because it was not his problem but someone else's. She replied that Hyjin's significant other disappeared in the dungeon, so it gave her the right to miss him as much as she wants. But the person replied that it has already been 3 years, and she even started going around the dungeons alone to find Han. Even when the lady tried to reply again, the person wanted to stop talking about a person who went missing. He even suspected the girl to be Hyjin herself because she was talking about Han so much. This pissed off the girl to the core as she yelled that the guy crossed his line. But suddenly, lights turned on inside her room, and a tall man in a coat entered the room. He was Cholhyun, the Eternal Flame Guild's top alchemist. He asked the lady if she was indeed a zombie for working in a dark room. The lady raised her hands to release the muscle tension while telling the alchemist that she can only concentrate better when it was dark. She asked the man if he looked into what she asked him to do. The man told her that he went to the place in person, to the lowest ranked hunter with no traits and skill, Jiha. And as expected, he did not feel anything special from him. The lady was a little worried, as she knew that if Jiha was a normal man, then he had nothing to do with Hyjin getting stronger all of a sudden. But suddenly, the man replied that even when Jiha was a normal guy, he was selling some special items in his shop. The man asked the lady if she knew what a solar apple was. The lady was bewildered by hearing the name for the first time. But the man explained that the solar apple was a very rare item that drastically reduced ether usage of players. The man admitted that even he had never seen it in person until he got to Jiha's shop. He explained that the potion given to Hyjin was brewed out of the solar apple, and Jiha sells it as a potion for a very cheap price. The lady was surprised by hearing this information, knowing for sure that if the solar apple was real, then the potions made of it cannot be that cheap. But the man told the lady as he sat down that Jiha must have not known the true value of the solar apple, or he must have not. He was interrupted by the lady, as she said that Jiha was not a person with greed. With an excited look, the lady stood up while telling the man that she needed some fresh air, so she is going to see this Jiha guy herself. The man asked the lady in an urgent voice if he should get the car ready for her. But the lady replied that she was not a CEO or something to get into a car whenever she wanted to go out. The man was confused by the lady's statement, telling her that even if she was not a CEO, she was in a similar position. As the red-haired lady was excited and her eyes were glittering in expectations, we come to know that she was none other than Cha-Yon, the Eternal Flame Guild Master. As the scene shifts, we see that Jiha was sitting onto a wooden log with a little campfire burning in front of him. He realized that it was colder in the deeper parts of the forest and was happy that he decided to bring a lighter earlier. As the wall and fog that blocked the inner forest disappeared, Jiha decided to look around, but there was not any big difference noticeable to him. Jiha knew that he didn't explore the forest fully because some places were too dangerous for him to go. As he looked at his side, he can feel an ominous purple aura coming out of the place at his side. He did not want to put himself into more danger, so he decided to head back to the shop now. But as Jiha turned around, he saw that the group of pterodrones from before were following him, while wanting to give Jiha the mist-chasing flower seeds. Seeing that Jiha had noticed them, the creatures raised their cute hands up and offered him the mist-chasing flower seeds. Jiha was surprised to see that the mist-chasing seeds were for him, and he even noticed a pterodrone which was slightly bigger than the others. He asked the creature if he was the group's leader, but just then, he noticed that the group of pterodrones came out of the same ominous place where Jiha was hesitant to go to. Suddenly, a notification popped up in front of him, telling Jiha that the pterodrones had requested him to rescue their queen. Jiha guessed that even the pterodrones must have had a queen like ants or bees, and immediately realized that the mist-chasing flower seeds were offered by the pterodrones to ask him to help them. The cute creatures were looking at Jiha with their cute glittery eyes, wanting to persuade him to help them. It worked well because Jiha was not able to disagree to the pterodrones' request. Even when he was a little bit scared, he decided that he will help the cute creatures. Jiha rubbed the pterodrone's head with his finger, while telling him that he will have to prepare stuff before he initiated the rescue operation, so he will do it the next day. As the scene shifts, we see that Jiha readied the healing potions and poison and physical resistance potions along with some combat ration for the pterodrones. Knowing that the basic preparations were done, Jiha knew that if he added an area buff like the last time, devil ants should be defeated easily by his pterodrones. As the pterodrones ate happily till their stomach was full, they were full of energy. Jiha ordered them to start the rescue mission of their queen, and upon hearing that, all the pterodrones flew towards the location of their queen with gleaming eyes, which showed their trust towards Jiha. He decided to follow them, and after some time, he was finally at the source of the ominous feeling he was getting before. Jiha along with the pterodrones were now at a devil ant's hive, which was giving off a faint purple aura, giving it an ominous look. Looking at the place where the devil ants lived, Jiha knew that the hive must be at least 3 meters tall. We see that the devil ants and the pterodrones clashed with each other, and finally, the war between the pterodrones and the devil ants has begun. Both the parties started clashing with each other, and Jiha was awestruck by witnessing this phenomenon, as he noticed that the pterodrones were doing better than the last time they fought. But he knew that the pterodrones were still in danger due to the devil ant's poison. Suddenly, a notification popped up, telling Jiha that he can assist the pterodrones with his power, but the use was limited to only one time. He can help the pterodrones by putting the devil ants with wings onto the ground with a strong slap, but it consumed 3 essences if he decided to do so. Jiha saw that he can finally help the pterodrones and finally was a little happy, but using a slap to help them in a situation like a war was a little weird for him. But suddenly, he saw that a large devil ant with wings was coming out of the devil ant hive. It was the winged devil ant who acted as a messenger. An emergency notification popped up, telling Jiha that the devil ant army's messenger is trying to send a message to call the main army to help them fight the war. But Jiha immediately realized that he can stop it from happening by assisting the pterodrones with his slap. Jiha clenched his fists and decided to do it anyways. The winged devil ant was now into the battlefield, going to call the main army for help. But just in a second, a huge hand came crashing down onto the ant and slammed it onto the ground. As the camera zooms out, we see that it was Jiha who stopped the messenger ant from calling out for reinforcements. Around a street filled with buildings, a lady is thinking about if this place is the general store that sells that solar apple. On the outside it looks just like an ordinary general store, but she does not know what kind of secret lies within. Seo Hyojin certainly said that she caught the man stalker after visiting this place, so she also decides to uncover that secret, but she finds that it's locked. This is definitely strange because the sign here says that it's open, then maybe they just went into the restroom. Then she asks a nearby person about if they are open today. The person tells her that he's not sure because they have not been open since yesterday. The young man who works there is not often open these days. He also thinks that young people these days have no professional mindset. The lady definitely heard that they're closed on the weekends, but hearing that they are often closed is something she did not expect. But she did expected this general store, and in fact even that guy called Yujiha to be a bit weird. Something must be up. Then we see a young man looking at something whose amount he hopes should be enough. But enough or not, it certainly made a lot of monster-looking ants really angry. Not only ants, but some beetle-looking monsters are also really angry, who then go behind the ants to make them cry. But the young man relieved that he somehow finished it safely. But he wonders if their queen is still inside the ant nest. Just when he was wondering about all this, he notices that they rescued her. It seems like it was quite struggle, but now hopefully things will quiet down. The young man also tells her that it's fine, she does not have to overwork herself. For him it's a relief that she's fine. Then a message pops up saying that the Pterodrone Queen wishes to pledge allegiance to him. If he signs a contract with the Pterodrone Corps, he will become a sponsor of the Pterodrone Corps and receive several items. Of course, he will have to grant their requests too. There's no need to think about it, it's not difficult either. He believes that they can help each other out. Then he sees the Pterodrone General from that time. His evolution has just been completed. It certainly looks like a general now. He also notices how they are bringing a lot of it again. He told them he didn't need that much, but still, he would be satisfied with just 10 essence and a bit of ether stone. Then he takes a look at something in his hand. These are the seeds that the Pterodrone General gave him. One of them is a wild grape seed, and other one is tree fruit seed. Now he has no idea what in the world even a tree fruit seed is. Like, does a tree grow with tree fruit? Well, whatever it is, he will find out once he grows it. The forest will take care of the rest. Then he also wonders if he should build a cabin next. Then next day in a certain dungeon we see some kind of portal. Some folks come out of it who are hoping to reach the queen ant here. He hopes that after this he would be able to earn a lot of money after robbing the ant nest properly. One of them thought that the quest has already been cleared, but then the other one points out that the dungeon just opened. Then how could that be? Then they all see something which is right in front of them. They themselves see that the ant nest seems like it's empty. Maybe it was cleared in different region, but that cannot be the case because a cleared dungeon would not open for the second time. But still he is unable to believe this, so he decides to check it out himself. After analyzing for a bit, they realize that even though they don't know who it was, but it seems like there was indeed an attack because he does not see any live ants. But their leader asks them to stop all this nonsense and just find the traces of the ants. He also wonders if it is possible that all of them are gone. Then one of them notices something on the ground. There is a really big handprint of something on the ground. They also realize that this looks like a palm of someone. It is really scary for them to think about whose palm is this. Maybe some kind of giant. But even if it's another monster, it should be at the level of destruction though. Whatever it is, he does not want to wait around and find out, so he just runs away. While running away, he asks others if they really think they will be able to fight and win against the monster that annihilated the devil ants. If they are not careful, they too will be killed without even being able to do anything. So for now, first they decide to retreat and contact the association. They send the photo of that giant palm to the association, where someone sees it on their laptop. The association is told that this was discovered at the devil ant nest, and also that they said that it was already cleared. Goryeo Group successor Kim Hyung-suk notes this report and says that they should also report to him if anything else comes up. After taking a look at the palm, he realized that it's not an ordinary monster, and it's too big to be a new species either. Then it means that it's a mythic grade monster that he does not know of. Maybe a monster above the destruction grade has appeared again. Strange things keep on happening around there, but still he does not want that terrible thing to happen once again. Next chapter begins at Seoul area number 5. Jiha is standing there. Then suddenly he hears someone call his name. She asks if he had to wait long. Now that she is quickly coming towards him, he gets a little bit concerned and asks her that he's okay. She does not have to run because she might trip and fall. And just as he was warning her, she trips and falls. Then the MC helps her get up and he is really worried and asks if she is okay. but for her the only thing that needs to be okay is the book. So she happily says that book is safe, but MC certainly did not meant about the book as he meant about the person, because he cares about the person a bit more than the book, even though books are really important for him. Then MC introduces this clumsy sis as Hwang Sunyeol, South Korea's one and only origami hunter. Now any one of you can wonder, why did she even trip? Was it an honor?